surveying the arid landscape with piercing emerald stares. "Is flux absorption complete, Toba?" one of them suddenly rapped in a hard, imperious voice. The other checked a small instrument he was carrying. "Affirmative, Navigator Rago," he announced. "Energy now transferred to fuel fields, but we require much more." Rago waved his big arm impatiently. "That is the purpose of our visit, Probationer Toba?" Like two giant turtles on their hind legs, the figures marched slowly through the soft sand. Toba glanced sideways at his superior. "With respect, I still submit that we should continue to Epsilon Zero Gamma. This planet has not been fully evaluated." Rago drew a hissing breath and his eyes reddened. "This planet is ideal," he retorted sharply. "At this location, crust parameters are optimum. Also, an intelligent life form is present." "But the species might be unsuitable," Toba objected. "It might be hostile." Rago's gloves creaked ominously. "If necessary, we shall destroy it, Toba." A trace of a ghastly smile buckled Toba's iron features. "Yes, we shall destroy," he rasped eagerly. Rago glared contemptuously at his subordinate. "Commence the preliminary survey at once," he ordered. "Command accepted," Toba replied submissively. Turning towards the dark hatchway at the foot of the shaft, he rapped out a harsh summons. "Quarks!" Instantly, an excited, whirring and chattering sound issued from within, a noise that was part human and part mechanical. Something glinted and sparked in the shadows, and then the Quarks emerged. On the far side of the parched plateau stretching back from the ridge of sandstone cliffs lay a vast grey sea covered with a smoky mantle of fog. Across the gently heaving murky water, a large hovercraft, shaped like a flat beehive, was gliding towards the shore. Its hull was composed of concentric rings rising from a broad base and tapering to a small dome, and several faintly illuminated panels glimmered around its middle ring. Otherwise, the vessel was featureless, looming through the cloud with a low-pitched grinding sound. In the cool, softly lit interior, 4 people were lounging in padded seats, set in a semicircle around a well-worn instrument console. They were staring up at the large display screen at an angle above them, which showed a clear image of the approaching land, while, through the observation ports, the thick vapours writhed and swirled outside. The 4 travellers, 3 male and 1 female, wore sleeveless garments like togas, cut low around the neck, but with curiously bulging pleated waists. Their legs were bare and their feet were clad in thong sandals, reaching to their ankles. A slender but athletic young man with fine bronzed features and wavy blonde hair turned to his companions with a smile. "This really is a terribly primitive way to travel," he exclaimed. "Well, we wanted some excitement for a change, didn't we, Talata?" replied a second youth, with dark curly hair, turning to the beautiful fair girl beside him. Talata nodded eagerly. "An adventure. That is why I came, Etnin." The blonde youth gestured round the shabby cabin. "Excitement? What's exciting about sitting for hours in this obsolete old tub?" he demanded. "In a capsule, we'd only have taken a few minutes." Just then, the 4th traveller, a short, balding man with a plump body and a mischievous expression, sprang up to adjust some controls. "Not without a permit, Whathead," he retorted. "You seem to forget, all this is extremely illegal." At that moment, the craft shuddered and lurched violently from side to side. The helmsman smiled at his passengers' gasps of dismay. "You can hardly complain. You've travelled hundreds of kilometres by sea with a real live navigator." The vessel lurched again. "Well, Cully, perhaps that does add a little zest. Warhead admitted doubt.